challenges that are out there. So I just thank you for standing there. A couple more slides, but I'm gonna stop right here with it. So,
I don't have a question yet, but thank you for what you're doing. This is so necessary.
thanks.
My question will come out eventually.
Thanks. There are,
Thank you.
you know, and the police officers that you know, I know you know them. I'm not talking about the ones that pull you over every Friday night, right? Talking about the ones that you know. They might live in your neighborhood, they might be in your family, or whatever. I'm going to leave my business cards. Give them my card. Have them call me. You know, we do have a very powerful voice being on the front lines, but unfortunately, there are so many of us who wear the uniform that are reluctant to speak out, and they don't realize that they really are protected in a sense. I'm not, because I serve at the pleasure of my chief. You're going to get a laugh out of this. My chief is my brother. We briefly talked, and I'll leave it at that. But I serve at the pleasure of, and not so much the chief, but as of the administrator of the, I almost said it, I probably shouldn't say it, but the administrator of my agency. Police officers that are on the front lines, the ones that actually do battle on the front lines and that go out there every day and dodge the bullets and are stabbed and what else, off the record, they'll sit down and have a conversation with me and tell you this is all fruitless, we're spending crazy money. You know, I spend 70% of my time chasing drug dealers off corners when I should be comfortable with spending an extra 30 minutes dealing with the domestic violence issue. You know, when I could be spending that extra time doing what you guys taught me in the academy as it relates to investigating rapes. We could put more folks in our homicide unit and solve more of these homicides. But they spend 70% of their time chasing people off corners, locking people up for simple possession charges, cases that never make it to court. And if we just change our policies, I don't think people really have a clue as to how much better it would be. How much better it would be. Because most of the folks that are going to knock you upside the head when you walk down the street in the middle of the night are people who are addicted and they need to get money. If we change our policies, those folks won't need money to deal with the issues that they have. Therefore, they won't be invading your homes, they won't be knocking off the corner store, and they won't be knocking off you. So, I mean, we gotta push our representatives hard.
But I'm afraid to say that the tens of thousands of people that are the apparatus of this war on drugs, they want their pay too. They want their money too. And that's going to be the hardest thing to bust. That's the hardest thing to bust.
The folks at the top.
To say that the war on drugs is over.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that,
Believe me, there are a lot of issues. There are a lot of economic issues that will have to be solved.
That's what drives America, is the economic issues.
Right. And here's one that people never think about. In Baltimore City alone, in many communities, you may find Walmart as your top employer. Okay? In Baltimore, it is the illegal drug trade. It's the #1 employer. And here's the thing. That money pays for food on tables, it pays for clothing, it pays for school books for the kids, it pays for many things. The BG&E puts in gas and electric bill. It puts fuel oil in the tanks, in the homes. I mean, it puts gas in their cars so people can go to work. That's why many parents won't turn in their kids for dealing drugs, because it's an income stream coming in. So, oh my God, we're going to have to do real job training, and we're going to have real jobs. And, you know, in Baltimore, if the mayor would just say, you know what, if you want to do business with this town, if you want to do business in this town, then you're going to have to show me your mentorship program for the kids coming out of our schools. You know, have some sort of link to the communities. You know, there are many things that can be done. There are many issues economically that will have to be solved. You're so absolutely right. Even those folks at the top in the federal government who are getting their pockets padded and so on. So many things that have to be solved. On the lower end, the police officers, believe me, you're not going to hurt the prison industry. May be a challenge, but for police officers, we're struggling now to retain police officers. We're fighting each other as agencies to hire folks because there's not enough qualified folks to go around who are interested. And we're holding on to people well after they can retire. And they want to go, but no, I tell you what, we've got an incentive here for you. We'll pay you X, Y, Z if you hang around a little longer. It's called a drop program. Okay, we'll do this, we'll do that. Now, if we were to change policy, those folks can go. They can go. Retire, go play golf down in Georgia. That's what I want. Florida, or whatever else you want to do. The folks that we hire in law enforcement, now you can hire the qualified folks that are going to go out there and protect your constitutional rights. Folks that will think for themselves and not just like robots. Okay? There's so many things. And then for those that are still looking for a job, become a teacher. We need good teachers.
What can you do from the other side as far as educating attorneys? Because it's pretty clear that if it's an unlawful arrest, that either the attorneys don't know or they're just as lazy or uneducated as anyone else.
Like with any job, you've got those really good, conscientious folks, but you've got plenty of attorneys that do. And I'm not a big attorney advocate by any means, and I was talking to a couple today that were actually on point with that, and they'll take the time to do what needs to be done, ask the questions of their client, and make the appropriate decisions and win the cases in court. We have a couple in Baltimore that you don't want to mess with. However, on the other side of that coin, you have the attorneys that I got to do whatever I can do to get this person through the system because I got 15 people waiting, and it's all about making that dollar. Okay, just cop a plea, you know, and they just because people don't know, and they're going to follow the advice of the attorney, and they rush them through the system just like anything else, and they get paid and they keep going. So, I don't know how you.
I guess would like
change
knowing
it.
How to write a writ of habeas corpus be a useful tool for an individual?
Well, a lot of things would be, and what, unfortunately, a lot of the information that is available regarding your rights and how to protect your rights is available on the net. But unfortunately, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who don't have access to it. And even if they had access to it, they need to be taught how to do that, because really, you can go to the library and do these searches and stuff, but unfortunately, there are many people in our communities, and typically lower class communities, that they don't have a clue and they just go along with whatever. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was interested, you said that there are some sheriffs in your organization, and I happen to be running for county sheriff in Delaware County. Hoping I can. Just wondering, in your experience with those sheriffs, have they been able to affect any change? And also, considering if the federal government does not make the change as far as getting rid of the drug war, what can be done at the local level?
Well, once again, at the local level, of course, to continue, folks that have credibility as it relates to the issues that we're dealing with, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's the health community, whether it's juvenile justice, whether it's our correctional folks, our judges. And we do have a number of politicians that do actually speak out. There are quite a few that do, and the number's growing. One of the things you can do is find those representatives in your area who do support it openly, and go to them and say, hey, I'm here, I can assist you, I'm supporting you. And when politicians hear that their constituency is supporting them, in support of them, it kind of like lifts them up, and and they gives them a boost, and they need to hear that.